I'm Amanda, and this is The Middle of It, a podcast about the messy but beautiful in-between parts of life. If you're listening to this and you set goals with me 30 days ago, welcome back. And if you're listening to this and thinking, I meant to start, I forgot, or I fell off, or maybe you're just finding it now, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. There's no behind, there's no missed window, there's just now. So whether you're checking in or starting fresh, this episode is for you. Goal setting isn't a one-time event. It's a practice. And the first 30 days are not about perfection. They're about assessment, not judgment, not criticism, assessment. So today we're going to pause, look back at the last 30 days, and get honest about what's real and reconnect to what we're building. Let's start at the foundation again. Positive goal framing. Goals framed in fear usually sound like, I need to lose weight. I have to get out of debt. I can't keep living like this. They're fear-based and they're rooted in what's wrong. Instead, we reframe toward the positive. I'm living a healthier life. I'm becoming more financially grounded. I'm building stability and peace. It's not semantics, it's manifestation, because what you focus on grows. If you focus on what's broken, that's what grows. If you focus on what you're building, that grows. So here's a powerful question to sit with. What story are you telling yourself about your goal? Is it, I always start strong and fall off? Or I'm learning how to stay connected longer? Is it, I never follow through? Or I'm practicing consistency? That story matters because the behavior that follows is rooted in that belief. So let's actually check in on our goals. I'll first share mine. My goals this year are growing the podcast through different partnerships and training for and completing the New York City Marathon. I had a third goal that I talked about the last time we met on goals, and it was speaking at colleges. And the reality is, in the last 30 days, my life has become more complicated. I don't have the capacity to do all three well right now, and that's okay. Goals are allowed to change. They're allowed to evolve. That's not failure. That's awareness. By narrowing my focus, I can put the time and energy I do have into these two goals more effectively. So we talked about small actions, and it really is everything. Small actions matter. Not someday, not when you feel motivated, today. So ask yourself, what would someone who believes this goal is possible do today? Not a big overhaul, not a dramatic shift, one small thing. So I'm also going to say out loud and very honestly, I have not been doing the 369 practice consistently. And that's exactly why this check-in matters, because it isn't about doing it right. It's about staying connected to what you're building. What I have been doing is remembering my goals in the middle of the day and thinking about what's gone right, what's gone wrong, and then realizing, oh, crud, I need to say them out loud. So I usually say them out loud 3 times and 6 times, and then I'll say them out loud 9 times, all at the same time, because I realize that I'm not going to do it later either. And that still counts, even when I just say them once or read them in my notes app. This episode is me recapturing my goals, re-believing in them, recommitting to them. So if you've drifted, come back. If you forgot, start now. I'm right here with you. Now let's talk about measuring progress, not with shame, but with curiosity. Previously, we talked about quantitative and qualitative data. Quantitative, how many times did I take the action? How often did I pause instead of reacting? Qualitative, how do I feel? How do the people around me experience me? These things matter. So you have to ask yourself, do my goals need to change? Do they still feel aligned? Does anything need to shift? Does something need to be released? Releasing a goal is not quitting, it's choosing honesty. So let's look back on the first 30 days. Step one was name the goals. Write them down, carry them with you, make them visible. Your phone background, paper in your phone case, notes app. If something matters, we keep it close. Week one, we were looking at consistency. One tiny action per day. That's it. Week two was about follow through, strengthening the habit. What time of day works best? What feels natural? Week three, gentle expansion. If weeks one and two felt manageable, two tiny actions, slightly more time, slightly more intention. And week four, where we're at now, is reflection and ownership. What feels solid? What no longer feels like a stretch? What surprised you? And we're now moving into step two, where we recenter, adjust, and recommit. And this is a step a lot of people try and skip, not because it isn't important, but because it requires honesty. It's not about looking at recentering, adjusting, and recommitting with guilt or pressure. It's really about clarity. This is where we pause and ask, what is actually true right now? Not what we wish was true, not what we planned for 30 days ago, but what's real in your life today. Like me saying 369 all the time in the afternoon, not in the morning and afternoon and evening. Recentering means coming back to the heart of the goal, not the outcome, the why. Ask yourself, why did I set this goal in the first place? Why did I hope it would bring into my life? How did I want to feel? Because sometimes we forget why we're doing something. And when we forget the why, the action starts to feel heavy. If your goal was health, maybe the why wasn't weight at all. Maybe it was energy or longevity or being present. If your goal was financial stability, was it just money or did it have something to do with peace? And if your goal is emotional sobriety, maybe it's not about perfection. Maybe it's about just feeling a sense of safety, calm, maybe even connection. Recentering is remembering what you're actually building. So, I also want to talk about why these goals that I have matter to me, the why behind my goals. Because goals without a why don't hold you when things get hard. The podcast goal isn't about numbers or anything like that. It's about connection. It's about creating a space where people don't feel alone in the middle of their lives, no matter what that middle is. It's about building community. It's about reaching people who maybe don't know how to ask for help yet or don't even know what they're feeling, but know something feels off. I want this podcast to be something people can return to, something steady, something honest, and yes, eventually something sustainable. So I can keep showing up and expanding it in ways that actually serve people. That's the why. My marathon goal goes deeper than just running. Yes, it's physical. Yes, it's a challenge. But the real why is identity. Running the New York City Marathon represents consistency to me, commitment, doing something hard over a long period of time, even when motivation fades. It's a reminder to myself that I can train for something months in advance, trust the process, and show up on the day knowing I did the work. It's proof to me that I don't quit when things get uncomfortable. And that really matters to me. And what about the goal I released? The one about speaking at colleges? The why there was giving back. It came from knowing how lost I felt when I first had freedom, not understanding boundaries or risk, not believing I had a voice or a choice. That's that's something that still matters to me. But right now, I don't have the capacity to do it well. And honoring that is part of my emotional sobriety. Letting a goal rest doesn't mean it disappears. It just means I'm kind of trusting the timing, my higher power. This is why I want you to ask yourself, why does this goal matter to me? Not what it looks like on the outside, but what it gives you on the inside. Is it peace, freedom, confidence, connection, stability? Because when the why is clear, the action becomes lighter, it becomes easier. And when that action feels lighter, consistency becomes possible. So let's talk about adjusting. And this really does matter. Adjustment is not failure, it's intelligence. Ask yourself, do I still have the capacity for the goal as I originally set it? Does the timeline need to change? Does the way I'm pursuing it need to change? This is where you look at your life honestly. What's changed in the last 30 days? What demands showed up that you didn't anticipate? What drained more energy than expected? For me, this is where I realized that 3 goals wasn't realistic right now. And that doesn't mean I'm giving up on that third goal forever. It means I'm respecting my capacity today. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to say, this still matters, just not right now. And recommitment. It's not dramatic. It doesn't require a fresh notebook, a new planner, or a big announcement. It's quiet. It sounds like, okay, I'm back. I still care. I'm choosing this again today. And then you do the one thing, the one small thing. Ask yourself again, what would someone who believes this goal is still possible do today? Not tomorrow, not Monday, and not when life calms down. Today. Maybe it's saying your goal out loud once, taking a 10-minute walk, opening your calendar, writing one sentence for you out there that are writing a book, pausing before reacting, looking at your bank account and sending one email. These are tiny actions, and tiny actions are recommitments. So, what about when motivation is low? If you're listening and thinking, I don't feel motivated at all, that's okay. Motivation is not required. Belief isn't even required. All that's required is willingness. Willingness to take one small step without needing certainty. Sobriety taught me this. I didn't believe I could do hard things, but I was willing to try one more day. And that willingness changed my life. So you need to rewrite the inner story again. This is where we check the inner dialogue. If the voice in your head is saying, I already messed this up, we reframe. I'm practicing coming back. If it says I should be further along, reframe. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be and I'm still moving. The way you talk to yourself here matters more than anything because this is the moment most people quit. Not because they failed, not because they decided the story meant something bad about them. It doesn't. So, what comes next? Step 2, really looks like a couple of things in practice. Number one, recentering on why this goal matters. Two, adjusting the goal or the timeline if needed. And three, recommitting with one tiny action today. That's it. You don't need to restart the whole plan. You don't need to go back to week one. You don't need to make up for lost time. You just move forward from here. So let's look at what's coming next. Our next check in will be in 60 days at the end of our Q1. We're going to look at what stuck, what shifted, what worked better than expected, and what we want to refine, and what we're building next. These check ins are here to support you, not police you. They're a place to come back to center when life pulls you off course. So if you fell off, start now. If you forgot, start now. And if you're just joining, start now. You're not behind. You're in the middle. And the middle is where manifestation meets action. Until next time, keep going.